Great. Thank you, Sydney.
All right, so welcome everyone to the PreCycle Innovation Challenge for 2023. We're going to go over your onboarding materials today. We're going to talk through the schedule, the deliverables, and kind of everything in between. So I want to first start off by saying thank you to our sponsors. Without them, this program would not be possible. Especially to the Washington State Department of Ecology and the Washington State Microenterprise Association, that's WSMA. We also have sponsorships from the rest of the partners that you see there on the screen, and you will be meeting a lot of folks from these organizations in the workshops and even potentially as your mentors or someone else's mentor, So we just have a lot of engaged and great folks from the community of this practice involved. So once again, thank you so much for applying and participating in PreCycle 2023. So as Xenia and Heather kind of alluded to and talked on lightly, Seattle Good Business Network and Zero Waste Washington have entered into a partnership to create a joint business pitch competition for the best product idea or service that prevents waste or provides waste solutions. And so sorry about that. And yeah, just make sure you guys have your cameras on if you want them and your mics muted if you, keep your mics muted unless we're asking questions at the end because we'll have time for that. But the teams this year are comprised of early stage startup businesses or aspiring startup teams across the Pacific Northwest whose ideas impact material streams or pollution in Washington State. And if you're one of the people in this group thinking, well, my idea is not in Washington, your idea still impacts the Washington waste stream. That's why you're here in this virtual room today. So we're happy to have you as well. We're really excited to convene this community of circular economy entrepreneurs and connect them to subject matter to help refine their final business pitch over the next 6 weeks in preparation for the competition and live final event, May 15th. So the top 5 finalists will be chosen from both idea and development tracks, having 10 finalists in total by a panel of judges. So that will not be me and Xenia. We have a panel of incredible judges coming in for that. So these finalists will then go on to pitch their video live. So there will not be a live pitch piece, it's the video again, to an audience in our virtual summit and have a panel of judges. And that is when we will have that competition for those cash prizes. So the teams in the PreCycle 2023 cohort, you are looking at a lot of them. A lot of y'all came today, which is exciting. We have 21 teams in the development stage. So you can see our team leads, the point of contact, the person who filled out the application, the name of the team, and quick descriptions here. Of course, I don't expect any of you to process all of these right now. It's kind of a big table. Again, these slides will be available to you so you can take a look and see if there are folks you want to connect with inside of this program. We're really looking for you guys to make connections with each other as well in this program. And here are the 14 idea stage startups. So again, same thing, you'll be able to check these folks out. This is our cohort. We have 35 teams, guys. It's awesome. Really exciting to see. We have, 24% of the teams come from rural Washington. We have 9% of our teams from out of state, and the rest are from the urban areas in our state. So we have folks are kind of all over the place, guys. It's really fun. So hope you've built a little bit of a sense of the development versus idea stage that we keep referring to, that you saw in the application as well. But really the key difference between these tracks is going to be with the pitch aspect, as all teams will have the same access to workshops, mentors, tech support of the videographer. Teams are encouraged to attend or watch at least 8 of the workshops of their choice, but are absolutely welcome and encouraged as well to attend all of the sessions. When we say attend, we do recommend attending live for the ones that you're particularly interested in, but recordings will be made available, and you can absolutely watch recordings on your own time if being there live just doesn't work out for you. But again, that main difference in tracks is the pitch competition piece of this. So the top 5 teams from each track will compete at the final day event on May 15th, 2023. So you could go ahead, save the day. If you have your calendar out right now, this might be one to write down, but again, you'll have this packet so you can kind of scroll through it for those dates too. One quick piece that I want to mention here while we're on the matter of stages, and we just looked at everybody's team names. We understand that the team name and also the track that you entered with is something that might shift around a little bit in the next few weeks. And so if you do decide that you really want to switch from one track to another, we might be able to make that work. It will be at the discretion of myself and Xenia. But if you let us know before April 24th, we're happy to grant a little bit of flexibility around that. So keep us posted about what your team name is, because that's kind of important, what track you want to be in, and also who your team members are. You are more than welcome to add people to your team if you would like to, but just email me, sydney@seattlegood.org. So I can, have their email and make sure they have access to the program as well. And so prizes, this is one of the very exciting parts of the program. So the prizes are different between the 2 stages. The development stage, the winner will receive $14,000. The runner-up will receive $4,000. Idea stage, we got $10,000 for the winner, $2,000 for the runner-up. We will also have cash prizes for an audience favorite award. So that's where all that the money is. We may be able to bump these awards up as well, but this is the baseline that you are competing for. We also were given 2 tickets from Seattle's Office of Economic Development to the Circularity 23 conference. We mentioned this conference in our first email out to everyone that had the save the date for today's event. But Circularity 23 is a pretty big conference, and the tickets are like $2,000. It is a nationwide conference, and it's just being hosted in Seattle this year. And so we do have tickets, 2 of them that we will be awarding as prizes as well.
Thank you so much, Sydney. And I'll take over to take you through the timeline, curriculum, and we'll highlight for you the key dates. So we're in March now, and last Monday we had all our applications in. Since then and now, Sydney have been having conversations with you to understand what are your needs, what are your asks, and just to have a good, quick phone call. Also, meanwhile, we've been working hard in the background to match you to mentors. So we're learning your needs. We are looking at the pool of our mentors, reaching out to more connections. And this coming week, till Wednesday, you will have that intro email with your mentor. You'll be introduced by email, and Sydney will talk a little bit about that further down the line today. But yeah, you'll be connected with your mentor next week. Also, next week, you should expect an email survey to gather a little bit more information on what are your needs to produce the video pitch. That will help our videographer to compile the most effective and the most useful workshop, and we'll touch on how else you'll work with your videographer later on in this presentation. So our curriculum and the program will consist of 5 weeks of workshops. And as you can see, some of the weeks will host 3 workshops a week, some are 2. And as Sydney mentioned, we really encourage you to attend at least 8 workshops, and more than welcome to attend all of them. And I'll go into details on all of them a little later. We also are now putting together a plan for the in-person networking event. Looks like everyone is slowly getting back in person, and we'll do our best to create the opportunity for you as well. So we will talk a little bit more on the deliverables that are expected from you. Those will be the materials that judges will use to define who the top 10, and also the final day judges will use to say who is the winner of the PreCycle 2023. So the deliverables due date is May 3rd. So basically you'll have 6 weeks with your mentor, and you'll have good 3-4 weeks to work on your video pitch, and you'll have support throughout. So the judging round, when you submit your deliverables, will take 4 days, and judges will provide you with feedback. We'll compile that feedback, and judges also will submit the scores that will help us define who are the top 10 teams that will compete at the final day. So we will compile the feedback and we'll share it with you. And the top 10 winners will have, top 10 finalists will have about 3 days to edit their video pitches if they want to. And those refined videos will be presented at the final day event. The event will be live, it will be virtual. And judges will ask you questions. So you don't have to pitch in front of the judges, but you have to be present for the final day to answer questions and get an award. So that's how May looks like. And I wanted just to quickly go over all the workshops just to spark some interest and excitement and tell you a little bit more about what to expect. You'll have access to detailed descriptions of the workshops, who is the presenter, and what are the additional materials you can look into on the curriculum page, and we'll touch on it a bit later. So the first workshop will be this coming Monday, and it will be hosted by a founder of Spark Interaction, Liv Hansen, and he'll talk you through how to connect to the story of your idea, and how to narrow down your vision into an actionable plan, and how to be sure that you are accounting for all the solutions for your problem. Second workshop will be hosted by Mike Skinner, the Executive Director of Center for Inclusive Entrepreneurship. And this workshop will introduce a powerful way to think how to build your startup, how to use business model canvas and lean startup strategies, and basically how to bring your minimum viable product into market. Next workshop, that is next week, next Thursday, will be hosted by librarian Jay Lehman, and he'll present you an easy way to navigate various databases available throughout your local libraries. And he'll talk about different valuable information and insights that the library resources can provide, and how to make sure that you have all the resources available to better understand your local economic conditions.
Hey, Xenia, can I add something on that one?
Yes.
I'm not a business person, so I was like, what? Why would there be a good presentation from the Seattle Public Library? How could that possibly be useful? It was terrific last year. I cannot recommend it enough. It is actually amazing how many resources they put together that are actually helpful for small businesses in Washington. So if you can't make it, try to watch the video, but it is surprisingly deep how helpful the library can be. They've evolved.
Absolutely, and I can say that, and I'll touch on it a bit later, some of the participants last year said that that was the most useful workshop of all. So next workshop on storytelling will be hosted by Professor Dr. April Atwood, and she'll touch on human design, market fit, market research, value proposition, position and strategy, and how to craft your story. So that will be a packed session, very informative and very useful. Next workshop will be hosted by Yolanda Saito, a founder of Impacti. She'll talk about what the greenwashing looks like, how are consumers calling out companies, how to build impact reporting so that people trust you, and she'll touch on sustainable development goals and how can you incorporate them in the development of your startup. Next workshop is a great new feature of this cohort. Will be hosted by an invited attorney, Josh Nathan, and he'll discuss the strategies from legal perspective on how to establish a startup, how to form it, and how to operate it in a legal way. The next workshop on video production will be by our amazing partner, Corbin Schweitzer, and I'm really sorry if I'm butchering his last name. So that will be also the person who will provide you one-on-one support and help you build your strongest video pitches. So he'll touch on how to tell your story straight, what software and what tools to use, and how to collect video content. He also give you tips on effective voiceover and more. Next workshop will be hosted by Business Impact Northwest and Washington's Women's Business Center Director Jessica Vidikan-Newses. She will talk about financial literacy in the startup environment, how to use financial statements and make strategic decisions, and also on how to understand commercial funding. Next workshop, number 9, will be hosted by the founder of Neptune Snacks, and he has a very extensive experience pitching himself, and he'll take you how to develop your best pitch deck possible. Our last workshop and a panel discussion will be provided by this collaboration of resources. We'll have a representative of Washington State Department of Commerce and Impact Washington, who will talk about funding opportunities, not like educational opportunities, and so on. We'll also have Washington State Small Business Development Center talking about how to start business in Washington step by step. So that's also very useful for the folks who don't have an established business yet. Session number 11, I want to highlight it. That will be an amazing opportunity for everyone to connect not only with your peers in the same subsector industry. For example, if you're working on textile, you'll meet in one room not only your peers that are developing startups and businesses in textile industry, but also all the mentors and the outside the program experts who will, it's basically a very concise virtual networking with all the people you need to connect in your industry. So I'll encourage everyone to participate in that one. I mentioned about the feedback, and we're building our program based on the feedback from last cohort, and we also want to make this program to be as useful as possible and to create the best experience for you. So after each workshop, we'll send you a link to a very quick survey or feedback form. It's going to be 3 lines long, and most of it is check boxes. So we really want to get your perspective. How useful was it? It will not only improve your experience, but also experience of the cohort of next year. So we will really appreciate your feedback straight on the spot. Attendance. So as we mentioned, we encourage you to attend at least 8 sessions, and we will be taking attendance during the session. If you cannot attend the session, the recording will be available on the curriculum page. We'll make sure that it's there the next day. We'll do our best to do so. And if you cannot attend and watch the recording, just leave under the YouTube video quick comment that you watched it, so we can also mark that off in our lists, knowing that you watched the video. You will not be disqualified, just to kind of expect questions. You'll not be disqualified if you do not attend all 8 sessions, but from our experience, that more folks attend and more information that they can absorb, higher their chances are to get to the finalists and win. It will show your dedication, and we really hope that you can take the best use of this program. Also on attendance, we asked at least one team member from your business to attend. So it can be you, it can be your team members. You decide what is your availability and availability of your team. Program access. You'll receive an email from us the first thing in the morning on Monday with information how to access the curriculum page. It will be live by the end of this week, and this is the link how to access the page, but also we'll share it in the email, and the page is password protected. So I will show you in the next slide how it looks like and how to navigate it, but that page will summarize all the workshops, all the links, all the additional resources, all the quick links, and everything you need to know will be collected on one page. And workshops are an hour and a half long, and will indicate if there will be running a bit longer, but we don't expect that. And we don't expect any changes, but if so, we will communicate ahead of time so that every one of you is aware of that. Also, we will be sending calendar invites to all your team members. And if you do not want to receive them, you just let us know and you can opt out of that option. But we just want to make sure that your calendars are also indicating about the upcoming sessions, and the calendar invites will have Zoom links as well. Next slide, that's how the curriculum page will look like. Now I realize that it would be better if I took a screenshot of the whole page with the header and the footer, but basically on the left, you see how the workshops are structured, and the quick links will be on top, the additional resources will be on the bottom. And on the very right of the slide, this is how the workshop page, individual page of the workshop looks like, with description, with the bio of a presenter, with additional resources that this presenter recommends, and we collected throughout our programs. Yeah, basically everything you need to know about the session. Also, this individual page will host a video recording link, so you can you can watch it from this page as well. Next, the communication from our team in regards to curriculum. As I mentioned, every week, the first thing Monday morning, you'll receive a reminder email with short description of the upcoming sessions, with Zoom links, again, for your convenience, and a reminder to fill out a quick survey. If there is any additional information in regards to the sessions, this email will include that as well. Other communication that you can expect in your inbox, yeah, information about the short calls with Signy, if you have not done that yet. Reminders about the deadlines, potential networking meetups information, email with access to Google folder, and I will touch on it a tiny bit later. And yeah, all other opportunities and reminders. So we know for sure that we'll be sending information on potential grant opportunities or information on any other opportunities that we think will benefit your business. And yeah, the word to Sydney. Thank you for listening to me for so long. I know it's a lot, but the slides will be available to you so you can review them afterwards.
All right, so I will tell you a little bit more about that mentorship piece. I know for a lot of you, this is one of the most exciting parts of the program. So I'm looking forward to all of you having mentors and hopefully having really strong relations with them that go beyond the PreCycle program. But the matching process is currently being wrapped up. So we will be reaching out by midway next week to connect you with your mentor. Teams and mentors are matched based on the mentor's expressed areas of expertise and the team's product idea, industry, or topical area that they indicated needing the most assistance on. So we're trying to inform that a little bit through those phone calls. So if you do care a lot about that mentorship piece, and I haven't called you yet, email me and let's get on a call ASAP. On the commitment piece, mentors are encouraged to meet with their teams as much as they have the capacity for, but we told them that they have to just meet at least 3 times. So on your end, you can expect to be able to meet with them at least 3 times unless we tell you otherwise. If that's the case, we'll set you up with additional support. We want everybody to have that opportunity to get that support. If a mentor expresses an interest in meeting more than that, great. Coordinate it, work it out, meet them a lot. It's your resource to take advantage of. But we do want to make sure that on both sides of the equation, the mentors and the teams, we're encouraging a culture of respect of each other's ideas, contributions, and time. So both parties are expected to be respectful of these things, taking the context and background of the project and the individual and the professional experience into consideration when having these conversations with each other. If you find that something's not going according to plan, like it's not lining up, the expertise is off, or the experience is just not really what you're looking for, communicate that with me and Xenia. As much as you communicate with us is as much as we're going to be able to help you. So mentor agreement, to protect the projects and privacies of each team, we are having all the mentors sign an NDA electronically before meeting with you. It's also your responsibility to be cautious about the level of information that you're willing to share with them. If something's particularly sensitive, just, err on the side of caution. If it's like a, protected trade secret, then know what you are and are not comfortable with sharing. And just, again, that's on that mutual respect piece. A date to flag, once again, we've already mentioned this, but March 27th is when we're going to start rolling out those mentor matches. So between that Monday and Wednesday is when you should be matched with your mentor. Xenia and I will do that via email and connect y'all. As you guys continue to talk, you do not need to keep me and Xenia on that CC. You are more than welcome and encourage even to spare our inboxes to remove us from the CC at that point. You also don't need to let us know when you're meeting with them. It is up to the teams, you all, to set up the meetings because, again, the mentor is there as a resource to you, but it is also on the mentor to communicate the amount of time and commitment they have for you. All right. So on the videographer support, I know some of you indicated on your application, like, yeah, no, I've totally got this. I've done videos. I'm feeling not at all nervous. And others kind of expressed, yeah, I can barely record something on my phone. No matter where you are at in terms of your own personal videography skills, you're going to be able to make a video. We are going to make sure you are supported in doing that because ultimately we want you to be able to tell your story. You are all entrepreneurs with a bright idea. You can all tell your story. So our program is going to help you achieve that. A big part of that and making sure we can match the amount of the need you have is to fill out that survey. So we have not sent that out yet. We will be sending it out soon. And so please complete that survey by Monday, April 3rd. We will send that out on Wednesday. So just keep an eye on your inbox. As far as the workshop piece goes, Xenia mentioned that one of the workshops will be led by the videographer, Corbin. The workshop will cover how to tell the story, what software and tools you can use, even if you don't really have any besides your phone, how to collect video content, tips to do an effective voiceover and get that sound piece right, and more. For those who are looking for additional support in the idea and the structuring of the video or in the editing, there will be opportunities to meet one-on-one with Corbin. And so again, we're providing you with resources and hoping you take advantage of them. This was something that we are including in the program this year as growth from feedback last year on looking for this support. So I really am excited for you all to be able to take advantage of it. And Heather, I see that you look like you have some.
Although I'm getting an Amber Alert. Are you guys getting the same Amber Alert at the same moment? I can't turn it off.
Oh,
okay. So in Portland. I just want to emphasize on the one-on-ones. So we are executing a contract with Corbin right now, and it is including 1 hour sessions with each team. So we really do hope that you will take advantage of that, because he will and we talked it through with him pretty thoroughly. He will customize to what you need, whatever you need from him in terms of help. So do please take advantage of that if you're able.
Yeah, absolutely. And Corbin will be able to provide feedback if you are going to him with just what you already have, or if you just need to figure out where to start. That is also a place to get help. So please do take advantage of that resource if that is a part of the program that's making you feel a bit nervous, or even if you feel confident on it, but you just would like a second pair of eyes. I mean, everybody is able to benefit from this opportunity here.
Yeah, Cindy, don't let me be a total pain here. Last thing, but we just are finally in contact with him today. Towards the end, when you have your completed video, he's also on contract to review your video and then send you a detailed email with notes on your video in terms of what he would suggest for you to tweak here or there. So you've got essentially 3 touch points with him, plus the survey.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, Sydney.
All good. Yeah, and hopefully your video is something that you're able to utilize outside of this program too. Be able to just carry this as a strong example of your pitch. So yeah, awesome. I think it's exciting. But speaking on that video, speaking on deliverables, so the deliverables, I will let Xenia go into those a bit more, but the video is of course one of them, and she will kind of break that down a little for you.
Yeah, and just to change voices and accents in your speakers, so you keep that attention to the content. As we mentioned, there are 2 types of deliverables that we expect you to submit by May 3rd. And one of them is a 2-pager. We had quite a deliberation to provide you with the structure for it or not. And taking into consideration everyone's experience, we decided not to, because it will be up to you to tell your story. You will be provided with a list of judging criteria, and you know your business more than anyone and better than anyone. And going backwards from the judges' criteria, you'll be able to put what you consider is valuable information on that 2-pager. And those are the 2 examples of winning teams from last year, and we'll provide you more examples of 2-pager in the future so you can get inspired by. The second deliverable is a up to 3-minute video pitch, as you could tell by now. And here is the space under those photos that I left to provide you with links to top 10 videos from last year. I'll add them when we send out this slide deck. So basically, that's an opportunity to tell your story in a compelling way, a very personal way, and we hope that you do bring that part out and you use this opportunity to talk about yourself a bit more, something that paper cannot tell. And again, after judges provide feedback on your initial deliverable, initial video, you'll have 3 days to implement their feedback in your video pitch, so that if you are a finalist and you will compete at the final day event on May 15th, you'll have 3 days to implement that feedback in your videos and review them. And again, there will be no live pitching. Videos will play a role and will compete for you, but you will be asked questions live. You'll have the slide deck, so you'll be able to refer to this naming convention. So when you submit your deliverables, you'll be provided a specific place on a Google folder, and we ask you to name your files appropriately using this naming convention, so that we know which video and which 2-pager belongs to who, and there is no confusion happening. So do your best. And that is the example from last year. So each folder that we will share with you will be shared with all your team members. Again, Sydney mentioned this is important that you keep us informed about all your team members and you provide their email addresses. So this is how we'll be able to share this folder with all your team members so everyone can access that folder. At some point, we'll also ask you to put your headshots in this folder and your bios, because we want to take our channels and basically spread the word about your teams as wide as possible, and we will need your headshots and bios at some point. So please give us emails of all your team members, and those folders will be shared with your team members exclusively. And you will also have access to this database of all the links of all the teams. So it's kind of all in one place. But yeah, again, all those links will only be accessible by your emails that you provide, emails of your teams. And we'll touch on judging criteria. And Sydney, please take on.
All right. So Xenia, can you go ahead and just go to the next slide here? All right. So now you know what the deliverables are, and it's good to know how you're going to be judged on them. Please do know that this is something that you can go back and review at your own time whenever you would like to, once we send these slides to you. But each of these pieces in that dark blue and bold are one of our judging criteria. So you will be judged on waste streams and environmental impact, feasibility and path to success, social impact, scalability, and innovation. So I will just kind of leave that to you to dive deeper into on each of those. I will quickly just sum up each of them there. It really is just what's on this slide though. So waste streams environmental impact is referring to the prominence of the waste stream of your focus in Washington State or in your community in Washington, if you are one of our Washington competitors, and the potential volume of material waste reduced, or showing those viable metrics around environmental impact. So that circularity and impact reporting workshop is looking pretty helpful for that one. Feasibility and path to success. So how clearly does your proposal outline the problem, the market fit, and the ability to build that product or service to really provide a true solution that has financial feasibility. So social impact, this is looking at how your product or service will have a positive impact on or address diversity in your community and be accessible. So accessible, we're referring to geographically accessible, financially accessible, culturally, physically, cognitively, by under-resourced individuals and communities, or rural populations as well. So anywhere and anyone who is kind of needing some positive impacts, if your project is providing that, that's also one of our weighted categories here. Scalability, so what is the potential for this idea to scale? We're not going to judge you on where your idea is at right now. Like you don't need to be running some like big statewide or national operation, but just what is the potential for scaling that you can demonstrate or replicate. And innovation. So how well does your idea take a new approach or improve upon previous technologies or services to tackle a problem from a new perspective or in a new geography? So even if you're doing something that is already done elsewhere, but no one around you is doing it, that's still innovation. That's still important. That's still bringing those gaps together and finding innovative ways to reduce waste. And this is just what you can reference to see the different weights of all of those categories. So I won't go into those because you can just look at this one. So I can go ahead and just move on to the next piece here. The judges will be given some instructions on how to go through the judging process. Your videos and 2-pagers will not be judged in a rank order. They will be judged on like an individual basis. If they judge 3 to 4 exceptional business plans, they score them accordingly. 2 businesses can have the same scores, kind of the idea here, won't be ranked. Scores will be confidential and will be averaged with the scores of the other judges who review the same teams. You will not be provided with your score. What you will be provided with is feedback. So to make sure that each team can successfully grow from this experience, we are encouraging judges to provide as much feedback as possible in the comment portion of their scorecards. And so this feedback, of course, will be provided to you. And this is what the judging card looked like last year. We are going to be updating it this year to reflect all of the different judging criteria that we talked about with you just now. But this is a sense of just what that card will look like. We'll just be changing some of the words. All right, and do we have Spencer Martin in here? Yes, we do. Great. Hi, Spencer. So we today are having a PreCycle 2022 cohort graduate in here with us, and I had the pleasure of very briefly meeting you yesterday, kind of near the end of that next cycle piece. Caught me with my wind in my hair running around. But Xenia, I would love if you could take a moment to properly introduce Spencer, since I was not here for PreCycle last year.
Yes, thank you so much. And as you can say, so that was the end of our very packed informational part. If you do have any questions, you can save them after we hear from our PreCycle 2022 graduate. So I am honored to introduce the CEO of Clue, Spencer Martin.
Well,
and I'm
thanks,
also
y'all.
cheering, and yeah, please share with our current cohort your experience. What are your thoughts? What are your wishes? Where are you at now? And what's your story?
Yeah, sure thing. Well, thanks y'all for having me yesterday at the next cycle pitch competition. That was a lot of fun, and is so relevant for what we're talking about today, because I would never have known of that competition without being a part of PreCycle. And so yeah, my background and idea of what we're working with Clue is that I was living in New York City as an event producer, doing a lot of brand focused work, and the pandemic hit, and there were no longer any live events. And so I took the risk of trying to find a solution as an urbanite living in a small Brooklyn apartment to upcycle my food waste and do that in a way that was in relation to my lifestyle, being both space and time poor, and a little bit more of that environmental pragmatist that knew that he needed to do better. But I did try to get a worm bin in my apartment, and they died all over the floor, and I had to vacuum them up. So, I tried the traditional methods, but at the end of the day, we have built a brand around getting a clue and starting to pay attention to your environmental footprint, and have designed a toaster oven sized appliance that in about an hour shreds up, heats, and dries any type of residential food waste, including avocado pits and nutshells and bones and melon. And we have done oyster shells, but I'm not necessarily recommending it for regular use. But in about an hour, and about with the same amount of electricity as a coffee maker cycle, makes this dried, and I've got that going in and out, but this has been in here for 2 years. It's a 80% mass reduce precursor to compost that we're exploring using as maybe a mushroom food for some button mushrooms, or potentially using it as a biodigester input. So that'll make sense with PreCycle, and tells a good story around closing the loop and being more of a circular economy company. And that introduction happened through PreCycle. So we joined, I believe we found out through the WTIA. I don't know if anyone else is in the WTIA here, but highly recommend them too. A great organization in Washington working with startup founders. And yeah, a lot of what I wanted to share my experience around was that I really appreciated so much around the relational side of PreCycle. The fact that y'all act really as conduits between so many different types of organizations within Washington. This team here has built an awesome workshop session, educational side, and then they really bring together a lot of Washington awesome human beings that really help to push y'all in the right direction. And so my encouragement is really around getting to know your fellow PreCycle participants, really getting to know your mentee, your mentor. They're really there to help you. And that the PreCycle team has a ton of events and other connections that they also want to continue to introduce and bring y'all to. So my recommendation is, just get out there and really meet people and find ways in which you can find, mutualistic ways to work together. With our mentor, for example, Sharoop, I actually talked to him today. He worked at Impact Bioenergy. And they needed and want more inputs for their biodigesters. And so we provide that input for them. So there's just that amazing opportunity to connect there. And so we're exploring what that could look like. And that wouldn't have happened without being a part of the PreCycle challenge. So just best of luck and congrats for all of y'all taking this leap forward, because we need as many people for the charge as we can get. So
Thank you so much, Spencer. We couldn't advertise ourselves better.
Yeah, no problem.
And most of all, advertise all the resources that will be available to you. This is a very short program, very intense, and we will leave it up to you to take advantage of it. We'll provide you with all the resources, all the workshops. We'll not penalize you for not taking advantage of it, but we really, really want you to take the best use of all the resources that we curated for you. So that's the end of our presentation. That's the end of our information session. Heather, do you have anything to add?
Well, I would love, I think you're going to have time for a little bit of Q&A from people, but I do realize that Spencer made me think of something that I should have said. So our goal at Zero Waste Washington and probably at Seattle Good Business Network is to actually go out of business. We want to be not needed anymore. And what you all are doing is actually helping us do that, because we need more entrepreneurs who are basically moving the needle forward in Washington. And we want you all to succeed. And some of you will hopefully go ahead and apply for next cycle for next year. We really want you all to, but maybe not everyone will. But our goal is for you all to succeed. And so we're here to help. And a large part of this also is getting to know each other. So that not today so much, but in the other workshops and things, you'll be able to actually introduce what your team is and meet each other. But do we have time for a few Q&A?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, great.
But yeah, everybody succeeds so well that I go back to being a barista.
Yeah, nonprofit business is fine. Yeah, as long as you're working to make money, right? Anyone have any questions or comments?
And I would also say I'd encourage folks to come off video if they are capable and comfortable doing so, just because this is an opportunity to kind of see each other, see a cohort, not feel too much like we're all talking to little name boxes. So if you do feel comfortable and have the capacity to do so, I would really encourage that. I will now stop talking and give you guys the space to do so instead.
I've got a quick question.
Go ahead.
Casey?
Casey, go first. Yeah.
Can I go first?
Yeah, then we'll go to Tom.
Okay, nice to meet you all, and thank you for the presentation. It was wonderful. When I talked to you, Sydney, the other day, I expressed that I was okay on the mentor front, but after this presentation, I think I would like to be paired up with a mentor. Is it too late for that?
Oh, you still will be. Like, no matter what anyone told me in terms of like their interest in it, you'll be paired. It's just the more interest you expressed in it, the better understanding I have behind like what it is you're looking for. So noted now. Thanks for saying that.
And if I can add, so on the mentors, we over the years we have developed relationships with a lot of people, experts in Washington State, and then also have advertised for mentors. So we have a wide range of mentors, and if it turns out that we've matched you with someone who maybe isn't, you feel like quite the best fit, let us know just privately by email, because we can definitely find you a different mentor who might better fit the need that you specifically need. We're trying to do it our best job of matching, but we do have more to pull from if it turns out that you are feeling like it's not the best match. And it is, again, Casey, if you don't want a lot of mentors, that's fine, or mentorship, or if you want, you know, you guys can, you all as a team can kind of decide how much mentorship you want.
Understood.
But it's up to, yeah, 3 hours, 3 1-hour type sessions with them is kind of what we've asked them to provide, but you can also have less if you'd like.
Yeah, no, that sounds fantastic. Thank you.
Tom?
Okay, my turn. Oh,
Yes,
am I on?
yes,
You are.
Hey, I'd like to thank you, Sydney, because I was standing out in my field and I think we spoke for 45 minutes, and you got me all excited about this once I told you what we were trying to do. But my one question I have, how do we get the slides? Will you, because I wasn't able to take really good notes, you know, all the slides, can we get a copy of the slides from you?
We'll be sending those out in an email. So once this recording processes, I will be including the recording of this session, the slide deck itself as, you know, PDF that you can go through on your own without having to pause the video or anything. I will also provide the login info for the curriculum website with like instructions on how to get there. And so those 3 things will all go out together in an email. As well, if something else comes up between now and when I send that email, that might be in there too. But yes, going to be on top of that communication for you.
Perfect. I'm all excited.
thank you so
Perfect.
much, Tom. And just to address Sana's question and note that it would be amazing to provide more information to address non-traditional and nonprofit businesses, we will be providing additional resources kind of to support nonprofit businesses as well. So yeah, we'll do our best to provide you with that information.
Good.
Anyone else?
Well, we are very much looking forward to working with all of you. And as you can see, both Sydney and Xenia are extremely, you know, very welcoming and very available to you. So you can email anytime, any question. There's no bad question.
Yes, and for those of you who have my phone number, if you want to set up a call, maybe let me know first, because I am kind of caught up between things all the time. If I don't get your call, I will get you back. So if you don't get me, just leave a voicemail or something and I'll get back to you. Or email me letting me know that you would like to set up a time to call, and then I can make sure that you actually can, in fact, reach me. So, you know, I'm as available as I can be, and will communicate as much as you communicate with me, and then some. So, and Senna, I also did want to mention, I actually like flagged that exact concern to the law team, so that the legal presentation will cover the topic of, you know, choosing the right way to form your business, the pros and cons to being like a nonprofit versus an LLC, and just how to navigate that piece of it. So, you know, as a nonprofit business, there will be some specific piece mentioned there, and you can also ask some questions. So that would be a good thing to hold on to for a Q&A at that workshop. So I wanted to flag that.
So thank you so much. We are on time. Surprisingly, it was a lot of information. Looking forward to seeing you starting next week. A lot.
Bye-bye.
Have a great evening, everyone.